If you enjoy discovering rare coins and hidden treasures that could be worth far more than their face value, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every week we explore fascinating coins, incredible collecting stories, and surprising values that many people overlook. One coin sitting quietly in a drawer today could become tomorrow's unforgettable discovery, and you never know which video might help you recognize it. Today we are looking at a coin that many people have seen but very few have truly examined. At first glance, it may appear to be just another ordinary piece of everyday money, but experienced collectors know that appearances can be deceiving. Some coins tell stories of history, culture, craftsmanship, and even incredible financial opportunity. The 2008 South Africa 2 Rand coin is one of those pieces that deserves a much closer look. Imagine opening an old coin box that has been sitting untouched for years. Maybe it belonged to your father, grandfather, or another family member who simply kept spare change without realizing that one day collectors around the world would search for certain examples. Many valuable coins are discovered exactly this way, hidden in forgotten collections, old wallets, metal tins, or drawers that have not been opened for decades. The 2008 2 Rand coin reflects South Africa's rich history and modern identity. It represents a nation known for its remarkable wildlife, natural beauty, and important place in African history. While millions of these coins entered circulation, collectors understand that not every surviving coin is equal. Small differences in condition, rarity, minting quality, and collector demand can make one example much more desirable than another. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that an old coin automatically has great value. Age alone is never enough. Professional collectors carefully inspect every detail before deciding how much they are willing to pay. They study the sharpness of the design, the quality of the surfaces, the color, the edges, and whether the coin has remained free from scratches, corrosion, or heavy wear. This is where patience becomes valuable. A coin that has remained protected for many years often attracts much greater interest than one that has spent its life moving through thousands of hands. Even tiny marks can influence a collector's opinion. That is why experienced numismatists always recommend handling collectible coins carefully and avoiding unnecessary cleaning. Many people think cleaning a coin will increase its value because it makes the surface look brighter. Surprisingly, the opposite is often true. Cleaning can permanently damage the original finish, leaving tiny scratches that reduce collector interest. The safest approach is usually to leave a coin exactly as it is until an expert has examined it. Another reason collectors enjoy the 2008 2 Rand coin is that it reminds them of a specific period in South African history. Coins are more than money. They become historical documents made of metal. Every scratch, every design element, every inscription represents a moment in time. Holding an older coin can feel like holding a small piece of history in your own hands. Experienced collectors also search for unusual varieties. Sometimes a coin may have been struck slightly off-center. Occasionally, small minting imperfections appear that make one coin different from thousands of others. Although not every unusual feature creates value, genuine mint errors can become exciting discoveries for serious collectors. Condition is usually described using grading standards. Coins with very little wear generally attract stronger interest because they preserve the original detail created at the mint. The highest quality examples are especially difficult to find since most circulating coins naturally become worn after years of everyday use. This is why many collectors spend years searching for exceptional examples. They attend coin shows, estate sales, antique markets, auctions, and collector gatherings, hoping to discover one outstanding coin that everyone else overlooked. Sometimes that search ends with an extraordinary find that becomes the centerpiece of an entire collection. There is also something deeply satisfying about collecting coins beyond their financial value. Every collection tells a personal story. Some collectors remember receiving their first coin from a parent. Others began collecting while traveling. Many simply enjoy preserving history for future generations. A single coin can create conversations that last for hours between people who share the same passion. The internet has also transformed coin collecting by connecting buyers and sellers from every corner of the world. Instead of searching only in local markets, collectors can now compare examples, learn about grading, study rare varieties, and participate in auctions that reach an international audience. This growing community has increased interest in many coins that were once largely ignored. If you happen to own a 2008 South Africa 2 Rand coin, take a few moments to examine it carefully. Look closely at both sides under good lighting. Check whether the design appears sharp and whether the edges remain clean and well-defined. Avoid polishing or cleaning the surface. Store the coin in a protective holder if possible and compare it with trusted grading references before making any decisions. Remember that not every coin becomes a fortune, but every collection starts with curiosity. Many remarkable discoveries have been made by ordinary people who simply decided to look more carefully at the coins they already owned. The excitement comes from never knowing what might be waiting in an old collection that has been forgotten for years. Perhaps someone watching this video has one of these coins tucked away in a family keepsake box. Perhaps it has remained untouched since 2008, quietly waiting to be rediscovered. Stories like these happen more often than people imagine, which is exactly why collectors continue searching every day. Coin collecting is one of the few hobbies where history, education, adventure, and investment can all come together. Every coin has a journey, from the moment it leaves the mint to the many hands through which it travels. Some eventually disappear forever, while others survive in remarkable condition and become treasured collectibles admired by generations. Now comes the question everyone has been waiting for. What could a truly exceptional 2008 South Africa 2 Rand coin be worth? While the actual market value always depends on authenticity, condition, rarity, collector demand, and professional grading, some extraordinary examples are reported to reach astonishing prices in the collector market.
Subscribe right now before you continue watching, because what I'm about to share with you today is something most people walk past without ever realizing the hidden power in their own hands. And if you're someone who has kept coins, old change, or even just a small jar of mixed currency at home, then this video could change the way you look at those ordinary pieces forever. Now imagine this. A simple coin, nothing flashy at first glance. It sits quietly in your palm, heavy with metal and time. But sometimes the smallest objects carry the biggest stories. And today we are talking about a coin that has been getting attention among collectors and researchers around the world, the 2 Rand 2020 coin from South Africa. At first, it looks like just another circulation coin. It has the familiar round shape, the standard minting quality, and the kind of design that most people would never give a second look. But the truth about coins like this is not always in how they look today, but in what they represent, where they came from, and how rare they can become depending on condition, demand, and unexpected collector interest. The 2 Rand denomination in South Africa has a long history tied to the country's economic evolution. It is part of everyday life, used for simple transactions, passing through thousands of hands, markets, shops, and daily exchanges. The 2020 issue continues that tradition, but what makes certain coins from this era interesting is not just their circulation purpose, but the possibility of limited availability in top condition and the growing global interest in modern African coinage. Collectors often look for coins that carry more than just face value. They look for preservation quality, mint state conditions, and sometimes even small variations that make a coin stand out from millions of others. With modern coins like the 2 Rand 2020, the fascination often comes from how many survived untouched, how many were stored early, and how many entered the collector market in pristine condition. Now let's slow down and really think about this. Every coin starts its journey at a mint, where it is struck under controlled conditions. From there, it enters circulation, where it begins to lose its perfect surface. Scratches, where environmental exposure and handling all reduce its grade over time. That means finding a 2 Rand 2020 coin in uncirculated or near perfect condition becomes significantly more interesting to collectors than just finding any regular coin in daily change. And here's where things start to get powerful in the collecting world. When demand rises and supply of high-grade examples becomes limited, prices can shift dramatically. This is not something that happens overnight in a predictable way. It happens through auctions, private sales, collector hype, and international interest. Some collectors focus specifically on South African modern coinage because it represents a growing numismatic region. Others simply enjoy building complete year sets, which means they need every denomination from each year, including the 2 Rand 2020. When that demand overlaps with limited availability, even modern coins can become surprisingly valuable in certain conditions. But let's be clear, most of these coins in normal circulated condition remain close to their face value in everyday use. However, the story changes when we talk about exceptional grading, special mint sets, or rare preservation cases. That is where collector attention intensifies and where auction numbers can climb far beyond expectations. Think about someone who has been collecting for decades. They're not just buying metal. They are buying history, condition, and rarity combined into one small object. When they find a coin like the 2 Rand 2020 in flawless condition, it becomes part of a larger goal, completing sets or acquiring high-grade modern examples before they become harder to find. There's also another layer to this story. The global coin market has changed. With online auctions, international collectors, and digital trading platforms, coins from countries like South Africa now reach audiences far beyond their original borders. That global exposure can sometimes amplify demand and influence perceived value. Now, if you're holding a 2 Rand 2020 coin right now, the first question you should ask is not what it is worth in general, but what condition it is in. Is it circulated heavily, or does it still carry sharp detail and original shine? Has it been preserved carefully or passed through countless transactions? These details matter more than most people realize. Collectors often use grading systems to determine value. A coin graded in top mint state condition can be significantly more desirable than one with visible wear. Even a small difference in grade can mean a large difference in market interest. Another important factor is timing. Coin values are not fixed. They move with trends, collector demand, and even regional interest. A coin that is ordinary today can become sought after tomorrow if it becomes part of a trending collection focus or if supply suddenly tightens in the market. This is why people who understand numismatics always pay attention to details that others ignore. They examine edges, mint marks, surface quality, and strike sharpness. They know that sometimes value hides in the smallest imperfections or the complete absence of them. So when we talk about the 2 Rand 2020 coin, we are not just talking about a piece of currency. We are talking about a potential collectible that exists within a massive global system of collectors, traders, and historians who assign value based on rarity, condition, and demand rather than just face value. And now, as we bring everything together, let's look at the kind of extreme valuation scenarios that sometimes circulate within collector discussions, especially when coins are considered in perfect condition, in rare demand cycles, or within speculative high-end markets.